Greetings and salutations, my fellow gamers. My name's AFarCryAway, and today we're going to be talking about Day of Infamy, a game I haven't covered for a little bit on the channel, but that doesn't mean that it's not a fantastic World War II video game. Now, in honor of the Day of Infamy free weekend that's going to be going on between April 26th to the 30th, New World Interactive have actually been getting in contact with a bunch of content creators and asking them to cover the game. And, you know, it's a free weekend, so why not? You know, you guys have nothing that you actually have to spend to get involved. And on top of that, I actually have 3 keys I can give away of the full game. So if you want to have a chance at getting one of those, join my Steam group. I'll have a link to it in the description for you guys. On there, all I really do is I just kind of post whenever I'm posting a video. I'll also post up information on free games being given away on Steam. So if you're interested in a possibility of getting a key, that's where I'm going to be giving them away at. So just, you know, keep your eyes and ears open for when I do the announcements of that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and talk about Day of Infamy and what makes the game really special to me. Alright, so first and foremost, New World Interactive, the developers and publishers of Day of Infamy, are also known very well for their game Insurgency. Insurgency is a game that I have, oh god, probably over 100 hours in. I have my own server that I made for the game. I don't use it a lot, but I mean, I play on it a lot when I'd like to mess around with certain mods. So obviously, I really like Insurgency, and New World Interactive have done an impressive job on everything in that game. But what makes Day of Infamy different, although the same, is that it keeps that snappiness in its combat, and it feels great to shoot guns in this game. It feels really responsive. It's almost kind of visceral feeling. I love it. And it does remind me of sort of that Red Orchestra style. Similarly to Red Orchestra, the guns in Day of Infamy are very much more user interactive. The user of the weapon, you, the player, have to put a little bit more thought into your engagements in Day of Infamy than something like Insurgency. In Insurgency, your guns are very fast firing, have pretty relatively fast reloads. Your accuracy is really good on most everything. And then you look at Day of Infamy, where you have some weapons that are very fast firing but have a long reload time. You have some weapons that are very specialized for certain types of engagements. And then you have things like the flamethrower, which are, 1, really badass, but then 2, very, very, you know, they take a skill to use. And they can actually put your team in jeopardy if you're positioned wrong. So I think things like that are what make Day of Infamy kind of special and unique to Insurgency, but it also has the same feeling. So if you liked Insurgency, Day of Infamy is definitely right up your alley. And before I forget, New World Interactive are also really great as developers because pretty much every bit of content for Insurgency and Day of Infamy is free. They only charge for one thing in Day of Infamy, and that has been like the different divisions you can play as, but all that is just different skin packs for which characters you're selecting. So if you're in the American team, for example, the United States, you can pick between like the Big Red One or the Airborne and things like that. And it's the same for the German side as well. But everything else has always been free. Everything in Insurgency, all the major title updates like Molotov Springs, and in Day of Infamy when they introduced the gore system and all the crazy new stuff to that game, or to Day of Infamy, it's all been free. And they're very, very community focused, and I've loved them for that. New World Interactive have been great. They've just been awesome. So that's another big plus for me as like a community member. So we have really, really good gunplay and squad play and tactical engagements going on in very historically realistic looking locations in this game. I really enjoy the whole like squad interface of the game. There's a lot of team play going on here, a lot more than you would probably think upon a first viewing of this game. You have like squad leader people, or captains, people who have to call in radio like bombardments, and in order to do that, you actually have to have a radio man with you to call in the fire support. And then there's different types of fire support that can be called in, from like Stukas to artillery fire. It's really crazy. And then you've also got like light machine gunners who can run around the battlefield, obviously posting up machine gun positions. And you'd be surprised how effective suppressive fire in Day of Infamy can be, because it does kind of like impair the accuracy and vision a little bit of the people who are being fired on. I remember I was playing one of the British maps that they had added recently, or was it Australians? It was probably the Australians. And out of their spawn is like a street that goes straight down the middle. And a lot of enemies like to use that to quickly get to either side of the map. And I remember just posting down on a machine gun, just keeping them all pinned, and occasionally firing bursts into the windows of a nearby house that they would snipe from. just doing that gave my team enough breathing room to not only exit our spawn point, but win the entire game, and it was really memorable and awesome. But not everything is a long-range engagement. A lot of your battles are going to be very close and personal, and that's one of the most visceral things about Day of Infamy, is the close-range combat. Just the franticness of it, like how quick you need to respond to a different situation as it arises. It's really fun, and if you're one of those people who likes to put a bayonet on their rifle and just scream and charge into an enemy, and just like pick up a pistol off the ground or something, or a rifle off the ground, and then shoot 2 more guys and you run out of ammo and have to pick up another gun on the spot, or like switch off to your knife, it's definitely a game for you. I think there's been times where I've held off single-handedly against 5 or 6 enemies at the same time, just because I was playing so damn aggressively. And that's actually a strategy that works in Day of Infamy, because like I said, a lot of your weapons have slow reloads, so if your enemy, you know, misses like a shot on you with a bolt-action rifle, you have like several, or you know, 1 or 2 good seconds there to capitalize on their mistake. But the same thing can happen to you, and you don't want to be caught with your pants down. And a lot of time you'll be doing the bolt-action cycling and or long reload times on some of the weapons. So I really like that kind of tug and push and pull of like the close quarters gunfights, because they really can go either way. You can have the drop on someone and still lose, but vice versa. It's really fun. So if you want a really good teamwork-oriented shooter that has its roots in World War II that isn't Call of Duty, because let's face it, it's Call of Duty, and if you want a game that gives you plenty of free good content, has a lot to offer, including, and I didn't even mention this, the cooperative mode that is just really fun to play. I don't always like to play competitive games, and playing co-op in Day of Infamy feels great. There's a lot of objectives that you can go and play as, or game modes you can go and play with your teammates, and it's a good time. It really is. If you get a few buddies together, play some Day of Infamy, you're gonna have a good time. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Thank you for checking out Day of Infamy with me. Check out that free weekend yourself. Don't take my word for it. Play the game right now on April 26th through the 30th, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, everybody.